Imagine spending $250 million on a building and losing money every single day it's open. That's not a hypothetical. That's the real story of hundreds of American shopping malls right now. Owning a mall sounds like free money. Buy a massive building, rent out a few stores, watch the cash roll in. But behind the scenes, electricity bills that never stop, security that never stops. A bank that wants its money whether one customer walks in or 1,000. And if your biggest tenant walks out the door, the entire building can start dying within months. Over the last 20 years, hundreds of American malls have gone dark. Properties that once made hundreds of millions of dollars are now worth pennies on the dollar. So how much does it actually cost to own a mall? How do owners really make money? And why are so many billion-dollar malls quietly failing? Today, the brutal economics of owning a shopping mall. Most people will never own a mall, not because it's hard to manage, because it's insanely expensive to buy. A small neighborhood shopping center, $5 to $30 million. A big regional mall with 100+ stores, $100 to $500 million. America's top luxury malls, over $1 billion. And that's before you've made a single cent. Almost nobody pays cash. They borrow, which means before the mall earns $1, you're already writing enormous monthly checks to the bank. And unlike a house, you can't just leave it empty. No tenants means no income. Period. The hidden costs nobody talks about buying the building is the easy part. Here's what almost nobody mentions. Every hallway, every parking lot, every elevator, escalator, restroom, all of it needs constant maintenance. Thousands of lights burn from morning to night. Air conditioning cools millions of cubic feet of space every single day. In some states, that electricity bill alone hits tens of thousands of dollars a month. Then security, often running 24/7, handling theft, medical emergencies, lost kids, vandalism. Cleaning crews work before opening, during business hours, and after closing, because customers expect spotless floors every single day. None of this makes money. It just keeps the lights on. The tax bill that never sleeps. Malls sit on massive, valuable land, and local governments tax that value hard. For big malls, property taxes can hit hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions every year. And here's the brutal part. That bill doesn't care if you're having a good year or a bad one. Half your stores could be empty, the tax bill still shows up. Insurance is the same story. Building, parking lots, liability, fire, storms. One serious accident can trigger a lawsuit worth millions, which is exactly why premiums keep climbing. One empty store can start the collapse. Picture a mall with 100 stores, all paying rent that covers the loan, the taxes, the staff, and leaves a profit. Then one major retailer closes. Thousands fewer people walk through the doors. Smaller stores start losing money. Some don't renew their lease. More empty stores appear. Traffic drops again. More businesses leave. This is the death spiral. Less traffic, right arrow. Less rent, right arrow. More empty stores, right arrow. Even less traffic. Malls rarely die overnight. They bleed out store by store, year by year, until one day nobody's coming anymore. And that's just the beginning, because buying the mall is the easy part. The real fight starts after the doors open, when every square foot has to earn its keep, or the whole property starts to die. How malls actually make money. Here's the biggest misconception. People think malls make money because you shop there. Wrong. When you buy shoes or grab lunch at the food court, the store makes that money, not the mall. The mall owner makes money on rent. Some tenants pay a flat rate. Others pay a percentage of their sales on top of base rent. So when a store has a great year, the owner does too. That's why landing big brands matters so much. One popular restaurant or flagship store can outturn a dozen small shops combined. The income streams you never notice. A smart mall squeezes money out of almost everything. Parking fees, digital ad screens, billboards, ATM rentals, even cell towers hidden on the roof. Holiday markets, pop-up shops, photos with Santa, kiosks in the middle of walkways, all paying rent. Every square foot is a revenue opportunity. The goal isn't just full stores, it's a property where every inch produces cash. But none of it matters if people stop showing up. The war against online shopping 20 years ago, malls were the center of American life. Packed parking lots, full restaurants, weekends built around them. Then Amazon happened. Compare prices in seconds, read 1,000 reviews, get it delivered same day. Suddenly, stores didn't need a mall location to survive. Foot traffic started dying. Retailers closed hundreds of stores. Some went bankrupt outright. Every closure leaves another dead space, and dead spaces make the whole mall less attractive, which drives even more people away. It's a spiral that's brutally hard to reverse. Why one store can save or sink the whole mall. This is the single most important concept in the mall business. Anchor store. The giant department stores at each end of the mall. The owner often charges them less rent, which sounds insane until you understand why. Anchors pull in the crowd. Once people are inside, they grab coffee, eat lunch, buy clothes, watch a movie. One big tenant fuels every smaller business around it. But flip it, if that anchor closes, traffic can collapse almost overnight, dragging every small business down with it. One empty anchor can kill an entire mall. Debt doesn't care about your excuses. Economy slows down. Sales fall. Tenants ask for rent cuts or stop paying or leave. The bills don't care. The bank still wants its payment. Staff still needs salaries. The lights, the security, the cleaning crews, the property taxes, all of it keeps coming, full mall or half empty. A few bad months, a mall can survive. A few bad years, stacked on heavy debt. That's how billion-dollar properties collapse. How everything falls apart. Malls almost never die from one disaster. They die from a dozen small wounds hitting at once. A few stores close. Traffic drops. Tenants demand lower rent. Maintenance costs rise. Insurance rises. Interest rates rise. Taxes rise. Suddenly, the owner is spending more every month than the property brings in. And mall margins were never fat enough to absorb that for long. Welcome to the dead malls across America. Malls that once pulled thousands of visitors a day now sit almost empty. People call them dead malls. Lights still on. Escalators still moving. Music still playing. Almost no one there. Entire wings sit vacant. Food courts that once fed hundreds now have one or two restaurants left standing. The building's still there. The business inside it is gone. For a lot of owners, keeping it open now costs more than shutting it down. The real competitor. Most people think malls compete with other malls. They don't. The real enemy is convenience. Compare prices in seconds. Read every review. Order at midnight. Get it delivered to your door by morning. So malls are shifting. Movie theaters, luxury restaurants, arcades, aquariums, gyms, indoor amusement parks. The product isn't shopping anymore. It's an experience you can't download. If people stop showing up in person, the whole model breaks. How the smart owners still print money. Some mall owners are still making a fortune. Why? Because they don't think like landlords, they think like operators. They buy in growing cities. They handpick which brands get in. They renovate before the building looks dated. They use foot traffic data like a hedge fund uses market data. They throw concerts, festivals, food events. Every extra visitor is another chance for every store to sell something. When the stores win, the owner wins. The building was never the business. The people inside it are. The number that decides everything. Two malls. Same $250 million price tag. Nearly identical store count. Mall A, 95% plus occupancy. People show up daily. Leases renew. Restaurants stay full. Cash flow is strong. Owner earns millions a year. Mall B, occupancy drops below 70%. Big tenants leave. Traffic dies. Banks get nervous. The loan payment doesn't change. Maintenance doesn't change, taxes don't change. Within a few years, the property has bled tens of millions in value. Same building type, same money in, completely different fate. The difference was never the real estate. It was the cash flow. Next time you walk through a mall, look past the storefronts. You're standing inside a business worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And every light, every escalator, every empty storefront is a number on someone's balance sheet. Owning a mall was never about collecting rent. It's about managing debt, keeping seats filled, controlling costs, and playing a game that never really ends. Because in the end, a shopping mall isn't selling shoes or coffee or movie tickets. It's selling one thing, attention. And every business inside is paying just for the chance to grab yours.